This is the Topkats connection. Did you know that regardless of whether you like it or not, or whether you unknowingly or consciously eat pig products, there really is just about no way that you can actually avoid not supporting the pig industry? Because a pig, outside of being eaten by humans, a pig provides at least 185 other uses, like the making of tambourine musical instruments, like the making of many toothpastes, like the making of insulin, bread, beer, paper, dog treats, fruit juices, gelatin, pig leather jackets and shoes, jewelry, shampoo, soap, and multivitamins. Alongside that, pigs are also often used to make bullets for guns. Yep, here comes another wild news report. You know, with many billions of people around the world eating pork on a daily basis, and because many of these people include some form of pork in at least 2 meals per day, this extended Porky Piggly Wiggly special on the also tasty and obviously much coveted swine is especially dedicated to you. This is an extended broadcast in reference to this much needed report about the also economically important and billions would say probably the delicious tasting pig. A pig, as you may know, is also called pork, a hog, and swine. Plus, it's a snack time favorite as well as a mealtime staple for billions around the world at breakfast, lunchtime, and at dinner. Yep, this controversial, very useful, intelligent, and tasty, but extremely dirty animal can be found in most food markets and restaurants wherever you go on the planet. And by the way, if you're wondering why I called a pig intelligent, well, it's because pigs have long been known to be really smart and empathetic creatures by those who herd them, by those who raise them, by those who keep pigs as pets. Yes, there are many people who keep pigs as pets. Pigs are also considered intelligent by those who test pigs along with other animals for science, medicine, and industry. As a matter of fact, back in June 2015, neuroscientist Lori Marino from Emory University and the Non-Human Rights Project said in a release, a public statement, that we have shown that pigs share a number of cognitive capacities with other highly intelligent species such as dogs, chimpanzees, elephants, dolphins, and even humans. She went on to say that there is good scientific evidence to suggest that we need to rethink our overall relationship to them. Lori Marino concluded, "We tend to put pigs in a lesser category than animals like dogs and cats, even though studies show that pigs are just as intelligent and empathetic and social, and perhaps even more so than such pets." So, to me, those are just a few justifications as to why I feel wholeheartedly that we humans should no longer eat pigs or use them for their skin, as in pig leather. I think that after about 5,000 years, according to history, after about 5,000 years of slaughtering and mistreating pigs inhumanely, these proved intelligent animals should be left alone. On top of that, here are some of the many other reasons. Number one, a pig is a real garbage gut. It will eat anything, including urine, excrement, dirt, decaying animal flesh, maggots, or decaying vegetables. Like what you will often find in what is called in the South, in the USA, what is called in the South for sure, probably other places too, slop. The big bucket that farmers and those who feed pigs, even if they're not farmers, the big bucket that they take out, or buckets, plural, that they take out to the pig trough to feed the pigs. It's just a big barrel or a big bucket of what they call slop. In that slop is a lot of putrid and very nasty things that have mutated, and bacteria has grown to unbelievable levels. This is what's fed to the pig. And of course, this is what gets fed to humans after eating the pig. Number two, since the meat and fat of a pig absorbs toxins like a sponge, their meat can be 30 times more toxic than beef or venison. Venison, by the way, is the meat of a deer. And many people say the meat of a goat, moose, or an elk. In some other countries also, venison means the meat of an antelope. By the way, when eating beef or venison, it takes 8 to 9 hours to digest the meat. So that means the little toxins in the meat are slowly put into our system, and therefore it can be filtered by the liver. But when pork is eaten, it takes only 4 hours to digest the meat. So that means when eating pork, we get a much higher level of toxins within a shorter amount of time. Number 4, unlike other mammals, a pig does not sweat or perspire. Even though perspiration and sweating is a means by which toxins are removed from many animals and humans / mammals' body. Therefore, since a pig does not sweat, the enormous amount of toxins they contain remains within its body and in the meat. And of course, for those who eat pig, is introduced into your system as well. Number 5, according to the World Health Organization, pig's meat causes cancer. Pig's meat is most commonly known in the forms of ham, bacon, ground pork, meatballs, sausages, roasts, ribs, and of course, the old-time favorite, pork chops. Number 6, when a pig is butchered, worms and insects take to its flesh sooner and faster than to other animals' flesh. Just in a few days, by the way. Swine flesh / pig flesh, depends on where you come from, I guess, to what you call a pig. Swine flesh is full of worms. Number 7, pigs have over a dozen parasites within them, like worms, flukes, and tapeworms. Also, reportedly, by many food authorities, there's no safe temperature at which pork can be cooked to ensure that all parasites within the pork, their cysts and eggs, will be killed. There is no safe temperature at which pork can be cooked to ensure that all parasites, the eggs and cysts, can be killed. Number 8, pig meat has twice as much fat as beef. For example, a 3-ounce T-bone steak contains 8.5 grams of fat, right? But a 3-ounce pork chop contains 18 grams of fat. And a 3-ounce beef rib has 11.1 grams of fat, and a 3-ounce pork spare rib has 23.2 grams of fat. Number 9, since cows have a complex digestive system, because of their 4 stomachs, cows have 4 stomachs. It takes them over 24 hours to digest their vegetarian diet. This causes its food to be purified of toxins. But in contrast, the swine's, the pig's 1 stomach takes only 4 hours to digest its toxic diet, which means a much higher toxicity level is passed on to the consumer. Number 10, the pig carries about 30 diseases which can easily be passed on to humans. This is probably why the Christian Bible, for example, the Old and New Testaments, tells its faithful followers not to eat swine. This is also prevalent in the Muslim religion. On top of that, pig consumption is also forbidden by Messianic Jews, Rastafarians, Seventh-day Adventists, United Church of God, and other religious faiths, because of how dirty the animal is. Number 11, the trichina worm, spelled Trichinae, is a worm that is often found in swine, and it's microscopically small, but once ingested, it can lodge itself in humans' intestines, in humans' muscles, in humans' spinal cord, or in the brain, the trichina or trichini worm. This results in the disease trichinosis or trichinosis. The symptoms are sometimes lacking, but when present, they are mistaken for other diseases such as typhoid or arthritis, rheumatism, gastritis, multiple sclerosis, meningitis, gallbladder trouble, and even acute alcoholism. Number 12, the pig is so poisonous and filthy that nature had to prepare for the pig a sewer line, so to speak, or a canal running down each leg with an outlet in the bottom of the foot. Out of the hole, out of the outlet, oozes pus and filth from the pig's body, which cannot pass into the pig's system fast enough. Reportedly, some of this pus also gets in the meat of the pig. Ugh. Number 13. Since today, 97% of pigs in the USA are raised in factory farms. In factory farms. So, this means that these doomed pigs never live a life of fresh air, exercise, and roaming about in wide open pastures, which causes the animal great stress and yields an environment of torment to the pigs because of overcrowding, disease, and toxic fecal matter, as well as a urine-infested, unsanitary condition. This is the horrible reality, or very close to it, of a pig's life around the world. For more insight on that, check your country's pig industry facts compiled for this horrendous problem. Number 14, in captivity for industry, pigs are fed a steady diet of harmful drugs to keep the pig breathing. Yeah, because the crazy people working there make the pigs grow faster and fatter by feeding them drugs. Moreover, these drugs often cause the pigs to become crippled under their own excessive and unnatural weight gain, amongst other atrocities. And later, we in the consuming public eat this tortured, toxic animal. So, what do you think is going into us as we swallow this tormented, abused, dirty animal? Number 15, it's estimated that 70% of factory farm pigs have pneumonia when they go to the slaughterhouse. Factory farm conditions of filth and extreme overcrowding leads pigs to have a huge likelihood for serious disease. The conditions are so bad that the only way to keep these pigs barely alive at times is to misuse and to overuse antibiotics. However, pigs are more commonly developing diseases that are resistant to antibiotics. So this means it's possible that many pigs are being consumed by humans that contain or has contained what is called a super bacteria. The extent to which it may affect you depends on different possibilities, like your immunity system's strength and how good the pork was cooked before you ate it. However, if the pork is not cooked properly and or if your hands aren't sanitized thoroughly after handling raw pork in any form. The following excerpt demonstrates explicitly what could be your unfortunate and repulsive reality. I have to say before I play this excerpt that this is very explicit, very graphic. So if that type of content bothers you, you might want to skip over this particular area. But nevertheless, check this out.
Only on Fox, at this time of year, we hear how important hand washing is to prevent the spread of the cold and flu. Tonight, you'll learn how hand washing could prevent a scary brain condition. A Valley mother of 4 is told that she has a brain tumor. But when doctors go in to remove it, they find something else, something living inside her brain. Rosemary Alvarez savors every minute with her kids.
That was a good throw.
Playing ball and laughing. For this mom, each day with them is a gift after coming too close to death last August.
I thought I had the flu. I started feeling tired.
But within days, this soccer coach and PTA president knew it wasn't the flu.
I started feeling numbness in my left arm, blurred vision. I'm still smiling for my kids, but now I can't get out of bed.
2 trips to the ER solved nothing.
CAT scan came back normal, no problem.
But her husband, George, was scared.
She couldn't eat. She could barely walk to the bathroom. So I knew at that point, she was deteriorating really quick.
It all came to a head on the first day of school as their kids aged 9 through 17 headed back to the classroom. Their mom was in an ambulance headed to Barrow Neurological Hospital after an MRI explained those strange symptoms.
It came back. You have a brain tumor. At that exact moment where my heart fell just completely all the way down.
But the news would get worse. Neurosurgeon Dr. Peter Nakaji.
Once we saw the MRI, we realized this is not good. It's something down in her brainstem, which is as deep into the brain as you can be.
George broke the news to the kids.
It was a rough day because it was the first day of school, and they came home with all their stuff from school and all the stuff to sign. And look what I got from my teacher, and where's mom, and what's mom? Well, mom's in the hospital, and this is what happened.
As Rosemary waited for surgery, she worried.
Oh my God, we just canceled our insurance like 3 weeks ago, and now this happens. And mostly, how are we going to pay for this?
And she prayed.
Okay, God, if you're going to take me, but make sure my kids are good.
By the time the surgery got underway, all those PTA moms and neighbors, her kids, they were all praying too.
My girlfriend, she goes, everybody's calling and saying they're praying for you, they're praying for you. Church, they're going to church and they're having the mass, pray for you. And pray. Power of prayer. That's what I told them. Power of prayer.
It worked. Dr. Nakaji was expecting to find a brain tumor. He showed me the video as he operated on Rosemary's brain, carefully working, knowing this is the most dangerous spot in the human body to work next to, the brainstem.
Here's the lump, and at this point it still looks like a brain tumor, and so we're just opening up into the inside.
And then the unexpected. No tumor, instead a worm. Watch as Dr. Nakaji grabs the worm and gently tugs it out of Rosemary's brain. It's still alive. You don't hear him on the tape, but Nakaji actually chuckles.
Which I'm sure is a very strange response for the people in the operating room, but because I was so pleased to know that it wasn't going to be something terrible.
This worm comes from eating undercooked pork, but more frighteningly, it can be spread by people who have the parasite in their bodies and don't wash their hands well after using the bathroom. That is the problem.
And it only takes one person who is spreading it constantly to get a lot of people exposed, and some of those people are going to go on to develop this problem.
It's impossible to pinpoint exactly when Rosemary contracted this brain worm.
Probably she was one of these very unfortunate people who had somebody handle food for her, that she ingested it, and it got to her brain.
What is normally a rare occurrence has become much more common. Dr. Nakaji has removed 5 of them in the past few months, and other doctors at Barrow, they're seeing more of them too.
I think it could be a fluke, but it does concern me that if we see more and more cases, as one person is infected and starts to spread these, it spreads it to other people who become infected, and then they spread it, so that more people are at least at risk.
Meantime, George and Rosemary are stunned, relieved, and a bit creeped out by it all.
It could have ate holes in her brain like a apple.
This whole part of my head, from here to here, it's numb. I just learned to live with it.
Rosemary shows off the scars.
I had to learn to walk, to balance.
But Rosemary says the most important thing she learned is how to really live.
I was so busy in life with everything else, and sometimes telling my kid, okay, I'll be right there, or hold on, and no, I can't right now, or no, I'm coming, I'll be right there. I'm not going to miss a moment that we tell me what's on your mind.
It strengthened us again, because we almost lost everything. Everything fell apart. When she was gone, everything fell apart, and my kids saw how important their mother was in the house, because even they were starting to take Mom for granted, and we pulled her out of the whole system, and everything just crumbled.
They hope everyone learned something from this story, so no one else has to go through what Rosemary did.
And wash your hands.
Yeah, that's a pretty simple one. That is how you can prevent this. First of all, don't eat raw or undercooked pork. Wash your hands with soap and water after using the bathroom every time, and especially before handling food. And when you travel to developing countries, be careful to eat in sanitary restaurants.
By the way, in the year 2013, a Consumer Report analysis of U.S. pork chops and ground pork samples found a widespread presence of a bacteria called Yersinia enterocolitica. Yersinia enterocolitica in a whopping 69% of the samples. This bacteria alone from pigs infects about 100,000 U.S. residents a year. That number breaks down to about 274 people every day from just one bacteria passed on to humans by a pig. This bacteria can cause humans fever, diarrhea, abdominal pains, and even death. The top 10 countries that I found from my research which eat the most pork, the most swine, the most hog are as follows.
Topkats, Rebels Connection.
Number 10, Canada, with 55 pounds per person per year. Number 9, Norway, with 55.4 pounds per person per year. Number 8, Vietnam, with 56.3 pounds per person per year that's eaten. Number 7, the USA, with 64.3 pounds per person per year. Number 6, over there in Europe, Belarus, at 73.8 pounds per person per year that's eaten. And number 5 is South Korea with 81.4 pounds per person per year eaten. Number 4, Serbia at 81.4 pounds per person per year. Number 3 is Taiwan at 87.5 pounds per person per year. Number 2 is Montenegro with 88.6 pounds per person per year. And according to my research, at the top of the eating food chain of pigs, if you will, is China with a whopping 90.1 pounds per person per year that's eaten. 90.1 pounds. All right, so as a wrap, I must say that it is my strong opinion that it's time to leave the pig alone and let them roam free. Enough consumption of pigs because of the huge amount of negative health reasons and horrific industrial reasons. I say enough. Enough slaughter and torture of these intelligent animals. Enough of making inhumane excuses of protecting the pig and pork industrial complex because of jobs that will be lost or some ridiculousness like that. After all, when one industry falls, there has always been and probably will always be other industries that will rise to provide jobs. What people will simply have to do is go and get trained and educated for other sectors of industry so that they will be knowledgeable and qualified. It's really pretty much that simple. And on top of that, according to history, pigs have been slaughtered by humans for many different brutal reasons for at least 5,000 years. So, again, I say enough. In this upload's information description area will be links and additional knowledge for you to patronize and scrutinize. For the TRC, the TKP, and this wild news report, my name is Q Pate.